What are the top 3 traits you look for before you write a seed check in a founder, AI native or not, but what do you look for?
Well, our model is helpful in that because we're only a co-investor, I can even start with the round structured. Have you structured a round yet? Do you have a lead or an anchor or some other VCs that are, have committed some capital to the round? Because we never invest just on our own. So we're humble enough to know that we're not necessarily an expert in everything. We're generalist investors. Now we try to be T-shaped, so individually within our team, we have expertise in different areas, but we're essentially all generalists. And that means that sometimes there are opportunities that we might not have developed a thesis about, but we're open to learning and finding those opportunities. Beyond a founder coming to us and saying, okay, I have a term sheet, I'm raising a seed round, I am definitely looking for certain characteristics, and I do think the founder or the founding team plays a big role in that. I wrote a blog, I think the blog that I've probably gotten the most response to was called The Number One Lie That VCs tell founders.
Yeah.
And it's really the reason why VCs pass, especially at the seed stage, is often because we just don't believe in the team. Now that's not a very comfortable thing to tell someone, we're passing on you because we don't believe in you. So that's why I kind of come up with other reasons.
Why wouldn't you?
So why wouldn't I believe in a founder?
Yeah.
So there's no one formula of what makes a successful founder, but I do like to see the right combination of IQ and EQ. So clearly it has to be someone very smart who knows an industry very well. They've done their homework. They've maybe been a PhD student in a specific area of science or technology that shows their expertise in, I don't know, neuroscience or whatever it might be. So that's one component of it. But I also want to be able to relate as I get to know a founder, even if it's on a 30-minute Zoom. Like that first 30-minute Zoom is pretty important for us that we'll have, or in person when we can, because I want to see that they're confident without being arrogant. So I want to learn something from them. I want to see that they're really knowledgeable and an expert, but I also want to see that they are someone who's willing to, learn and get my feedback. And even though I might not have very good feedback to offer, at least someone who I think can develop and grow. So that kind of right balance you can almost get in that initial 30-minute conversation. Beyond that, I want to see how resourceful they are. Have they surrounded themselves with great co-founders that bring relevant complementary skills, even other advisors? I mean, I think one of the biggest tips that I often give very early founders is to go out and look for advisors who are ideally in the same space that you're in, although probably not directly competitive, but they're a few years along to where you want to be. If I'm looking 3 to 5 years out, I want to see a founder who's maybe at their Series C or Series D stage, clearly successful, great operator, maybe raised some venture capital, which is the intent that this founder has. And I'm surprised how many founders don't do that, because in my experience, when founders reach out to other founders, they tend to get a good response rate if they're looking for expertise, for guidance, for advice. That's something that can really be leaned into. It's something that I did as a founder that paid huge dividends. So that resourcefulness. And then I'm actually sort of testing their ability to raise money because a lot of these ideas are going to need more capital. The big ideas are going to need probably several million more.
And so, what is that? What do you think boils down to the ability to raise capital? I mean, I hear storytelling, but really is it storytelling or is it more than that?
Yeah, I mean, certainly there is that storytelling, especially when you're selling a dream. If you don't have a lot of metrics yet, can't immediately just run to the numbers. But really kind of demonstrating I know how to get in front of customers because I have several, maybe they're not paying yet, but they're willing to test it out. And this is what we've done to kind of get in and hopefully land and expand later on. And it's really just using the kind of the full self. All of what you've built in your lifetime of education is not only about book learning and becoming an expert in a topic. It's really also about channeling resources and finding what you need to get ahead and then kind of demonstrating that. So yes, there is this storytelling component, but I also want to see from what you've done, what conversations have you had with other investors? And I could maybe back channel, VCs talk to other VCs like, hey, what did you think? And so I think it's good. So there's a real double-edged sword here, which is when a founder comes to me and asks for referrals for other investors, because on the one hand, I like to see that they're asking the question. On the other hand, I also want to see that you can do it on your own.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a balancing act. I do want to be helpful if I can be, but I also want to see through their own initiative. I don't want to put the whole round together for you. I want to see your ability, particularly if you haven't yet raised an institutional round. I want to know that you can walk into Sequoia's conference room and pitch them, and whether you walk out with a check or not, what's the feedback? What have you learned from it? How are you going to improve that pitch and raise money eventually from the right kinds of VCs? So all of that factors in.